Hi, and welcome to Black Heroes, presented by AT&T Dream in Black. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Shannon Cross, Senior PR Marketing Specialist, podcaster, and host of Black Heroes here on HBCU Digital Network. The Black hero we're talking to today is literally changing the game in entertainment law. I'm talking about Brandon Williams, General Counsel and COO of Steve Harvey Global. Brandon,
Absolutely.
Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. I think in my 44 and a 10-month years, I don't think I've ever been called a hero. So that one made me laugh, but I'll accept it. And I'm ecstatic to be here today, Shannon. So thank you for the introduction.
Well, listen, we appreciate you being humble as well. And this is the HBCU Digital Network. So we've got to start with which HBCU did you go to?
The best one. I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. Proudly wear the M on my chest. I throw up all of the house signals, all of it. It means so much to me. The school itself, what it stands for, what it did for my life, and what it provided for me as a Black man in the world. So yes, that is the school that I went to. It's the school that I claim.
I love that. And I love y'all's homecoming.
Yeah, like listen, that's why we've been mad about COVID. Like, I mean, we just knew it. This year we were gonna have it, and they took it away again. So
Spellhouse, man, Spellhouse.
Listen, I just saw today. Check this out. I just saw today. It is gonna have a Morehouse Howard Classic, September 22. I will be there. I think it's gonna be in either New York City or DC, but wherever it is, I'm gonna be there. Yeah, it just got announced today.
Okay, I will be there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in DC, so either way, look. That's nothing but a train ride.
It's happening. I'm telling you, that's gonna be big. We're excited about it already.
That's amazing. So what was the difference maker for you in terms of choosing Morehouse over another predominantly white institution?
It's interesting. So my mother went to Spelman. My sister went to Spelman. And my mother, what she knows about me is I'm a very contrary child. And that's certainly how I was. So if you told me to do something, I wanted to do something the exact opposite. So she would never tell me to go to Morehouse, but what she would always say is, hey, the greatest men that I know, or the great men that I know, went to Morehouse. Now, this is despite that her husband was a Howard grad. But she would always tell me in her spirit, the great men that I knew, they went to Morehouse, and she would just kind of sprinkle it. She would never say you got to go. And so I always had it in the back of my mind, just like the great men go to Morehouse. And so when it came time to pick an institution, they were at the top of my list. And, obviously I had applied to other schools, but I just kept coming back to that. I loved Atlanta. I grew up here. And, just sort of at the end of the day, felt like it was the best decision for me as an 18-year-old. And I was right. I trusted my gut, my instincts, my spirit to lead me to the right place. And it did not let me down. And it really gave me all the foundational things that I needed from, that very important time, that 18 and 22-year-old. It really gave me everything I needed in order to succeed in life in my mind.
And that wasn't your final stop. You also went on to law school.
I did. I went to Emory University in Atlanta.
Okay.
Graduated there in 2002. And so started my career in Atlanta after that.
So entertainment law, how did you get into that? You said your mother inspired you to go to an HBCU, specifically Morehouse.
Yeah.
But what inspired you to get into entertainment law?
So I would say this, Shannon, nothing, quite frankly.
Okay.
When I was in law school, what I wanted to be, had never met anybody that was an M&A lawyer, which that means mergers and acquisitions. You buy and sell companies, and something about it, the name, the idea of it, Gordon Gekko or whatever. I just thought finance, New York City, it's fast, it's, high flying. So when I graduated from law school, I went to work at a firm in Atlanta, a very big firm in Atlanta, and I practiced there for 15 years. Well, while I was there, I ended up representing entertainers, and completely separate from their entertainment businesses. They came to me because they were really doing things off screen, off mic, off everything, and they were just doing business deals, and they didn't have people that could represent them in those capacities. And so that's what got me into entertainment. I was never an entertainment lawyer. I still sort of cringe in a way that, like, when somebody calls me an entertainment lawyer, because I'm like, I guess, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm doing it. I'm doing entertainment deals, but I truly never had saw myself that way. I just saw myself as an advisor. I represented people and businesses that were in entertainment, but it could have been a biomedical company. It could have been, you know, a chemical company. It could have been a widget company. And it just so happened that that space required and needed my kind of background. And I think that I brought a lot of the different things to the table. I'm very flexible. I'm very malleable. I can learn a lot of things quickly, fast paced. And so it ended up going into entertainment. So I guess now I'm an entertainment lawyer.
And advisor, as you said.
Yeah, there you go. There you
go. Yeah. Well, that's really cool. I think that getting into entertainment law, even though you didn't anticipate it, it's really opened so many doors for you.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, can you just talk about, first of all, how did the whole Steve Harvey relationship come about?
Yeah. And it's something that I would give this to the listeners, right? Like the folks that are either in HBCUs or they're graduates or young graduates for HBCUs. And what I would say is the thing that I think I always brought to the table, Shannon, is that, like, I was always open. I would, just take on different projects. I would try things. I would be in this kind of sector and I would try different stuff. So that penchant for wanting to learn constantly was always there, and it always intrigued me, and my mind sort of got going. I never liked doing the same thing every day.
Okay.
And then, networking, right? Like everybody says the word networking, and they DC and Atlanta, people get dressed up after work and go to park and go to these places and go to the Four Seasons and they call themselves networking. But I almost think of that, you just going out. Networking to me is helping people find opportunities in whatever capacity that you may be able to help. So it might be a phone call that somebody says, hey, I need a doctor in Cincinnati. And I can find somebody in Cincinnati, I got friends in Indianapolis, I got friends in Kentucky, and say, hey, do you have a great, heart doctor in Cincinnati? What people want is value, things that you can bring. So one of some people that I had represented in the past, and they were connected to some other people, was somehow friends with Steve Harvey. Wow. And, at the time, Steve was indicating to people like he was really looking for another lawyer. And this circle or this room, my name came up, and he said, I want to meet him, right? Like, I want to talk to him. So I got that phone call on a Friday night. It was cold in Atlanta. It's probably call it a week before Christmas. So call it December 18th. I was sitting in my office on a Friday, and they're like, oh, somebody wants to talk to you. And I'm thinking okay, whatever.
Somebody.
Yeah, somebody wants to talk to you. So he gets on the phone, and I was like, his voice sounds familiar, but that can't be Steve Harvey, right?
Right.
And it was. So we talked for 10 minutes. I flew to Chicago that Sunday, met with him in his office. He was shooting a TV show there. Met with him in his office on a Monday. And, we kind of talked. I thought we hit it off. I thought we whatever, but, I didn't really hear from him. I left thinking oh, I got a new client. I'm telling people but it didn't really pop off. And then he came back to Atlanta about 4 or 5 months later.
Okay.
And he called me and he said, hey, I know we didn't fully get to engage, but I really got something I need you to help me with right now. And it started off really small. It started off just write a letter for this or get me out of this contractual situation or something. And it then built from there. I just kept being really good, showing up, being the lawyer, the advisor that I was supposed to be. And ultimately, that relationship started off with a little pebble.
Okay.
And that pebble started rolling down that hill, and it got a little bigger, and it got a little bigger, picked up some stuff, and it got a little bigger. And all of a sudden it was a boulder. Wow. And, so the lessons in that are, one, always be good to people, right? But I think even before that, be great at what you do. Be excellent at what you do, first of all. that's going to open up as many doors as you've ever seen. Second, be good to people, right? Keep relationships, give your word, show up when you say you're going to show up, do things as much as you can, right? Like life, I understand that life happens, but to the extent that you're able to do that, people always remember that. Call people back. You say you're going to call them back, call them back. If you say you're going to respond to an email, respond to that email. And then I think from there, don't expect it to just like happen overnight. It's a lot of weaving, and everybody's like, oh, I got it all figured out. I want to be a heart surgeon from day one. That wasn't my life. I wasn't one of those people that's like, I want to be a heart surgeon at 5 years old. And then I became a heart surgeon. There are people in life that is absolutely what happened to them. Right. Mine is not.
With the nature of what you do, sometimes do you think of yourself as like people come to you in crisis mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay.
All the time.
So in a sense, it was like that meeting set up all of this because, whether he needed to transition out of one role to another or whatever the nature of that letter that you had to write for him was, it's cool that you were able to literally step in at the right time to make that happen.
And that's the, the spiritual thing about life, right? Like, for me, I've always been somebody that like when things feel right, I can feel it. And when they're not, I can also recognize that.
Yeah.
And it just sort of came together and it felt right. It was like, I think I stepped in a time when he really needed me. And I don't mean like his life wouldn't have still been great. He still would have been Steve Harvey, right? Like that's an excellent life.
Yeah.
But it just, in terms of the organization and the business, I think it helped, the moment that I came in was kind of a pivotal one for him in terms of where he wanted to go with his life over the next 5 to 10 years. And it worked out for me because I was turning 40 and I wanted a new challenge. Like I wanted something that sparked that fire in me again. Like I loved being a lawyer. I still do love being a lawyer. I love the process of it. I love what I used to do. I was not one of these people that was miffed by the practice of law at a big law firm.
You talk about these new challenges and being open to new things. Not only are you a lawyer, an advisor, but you've also added executive producer to your resume. Tell me about that.
Again, this is all about you can't write this stuff. And I'm in like the Hollywood space. But the thing that I think has crossed over for me, Shannon, in these roles and new titles and whatnot, is I'm very, very good with people. I'm not a jerk. I'm fair. I'm stern in the sense of I'm gonna get what I believe I'm entitled to, or that my clients or Steve is entitled to. But I also understand the other side, right? Like that when you're in a deal, somebody's gotta, both sides gotta lose a little bit, right? Like that's a deal. Cause I don't want to keep working with you, Shannon, if every single conversation we have, it feel like Shannon just running over me. And I'm just like, at some point I'll be like, I ain't doing no more calls with Shannon.
Right.
I'm a believer in that, we're partners in this, like in a way, right? Like, yeah, you're trying to give me less money, but I'm trying to get more money. So in a way, you're going to pay a little more. I might take a little less, but we're going to end up when that's over, we're going to feel good about it. And so what started happening is people like noticed that and studios noticed that and the producers noticed. And I was like, we just like working with him. And then that morphed into, well, we want him involved in more of the like television stuff. It just, it started to work. And then people would, then titles would become, and I don't even, that's not even something that I'm seeking. It's not even something that I'm striving for. It's just, it started to happen and it's continued to happen. And then, this show and that show. And then people, again, they begin to trust you and they look to you to assist. And all of a sudden they're giving you a title that, I want you to be an EP, and you're like, okay, cool. And then you just kind of keep moving. But I don't.
And so what kind of projects have you served as EP of?
So for our Facebook show, Steve on Watch, we've got a new show that we're about to tape right now, Judge Steve Harvey, like 2 or 3 other shows that, I've been in the kind of the ground floor of it, working on it, developing it. And then I've got a ton of projects in the fire where other folks are writers or whatever, folks that look like me, stories that are told about people like us, working to get them in the business or working to develop them or help develop them. I'm the executive producer for a show in Africa, which is a big hit over there.
And what show is that?
It's Family Feud South Africa and Family Feud Ghana.
Wow.
So I got a phone call from Steve in 2018, the end of the year 2018, like December 2018. And he calls me B. So he said, B, I want to do TV in Africa, and like hung up. Like, and I was like, okay, well,
okay.
I don't even know what that means. And that took me on a journey. It took me on a journey. I had no clue what doing television in Africa was, but learn the business inside out, from how you get a show done from, nothing to something, help negotiating, acquire the rights to shoot it in Africa.
And how did you do that? You're not from there. Like, what resources did you use?
Talk to people, call people, calling this person, calling that person. Again, I'm never one of these people that's like, I can't do it. Right. So I'm always very open. I'm not arrogant when I call people. I ask them questions, like very, probably dumb questions, but I'm not scared. I don't feel like I'm not smart because I'm asking people. I really don't know. So I'm like, so I think, but if you grew up in the entertainment business, you probably would feel like I can't ask these questions because the assumption is that I should already know it. Well, if you've never done it, like there are no dumb questions for me because I'm like, I don't look foolish in front of you because I'm asking all this stuff because I really want to know. So that was December 2018. We were shooting it the next year. They told us you'd never be able to do this, but shot it in Johannesburg.
Wow.
Did, a whole season, 26 episodes. And then we did another 26 episodes for Ghana. And it just turned out to be like a great, it's just a great like story because again, I think it emboldens me about like, there's nothing that we can't do. Like, and again, we the only limitation is if you get nervous and scared and say, oh God, this is too big, or this is too much, or this is too whatever. That's the limitation. In terms of what can happen, there is no stopping. And that's what I think that, if I would tell 18-year-old or 19-year-old young lady that's at Hampton or the 20-year-old that's at, Wilberforce or wherever it is, FAMU, like, man, your life is ahead of you and your dreams are ahead of you. And that thing that is in your spirit, in your soul, that's the thing. That's what you hold on to. That's what you fight for.
That's a whole sermon right there. You could drop the mic
the
right
truth.
now.
The truth. It's the truth, though. It's not even a sermon. It's like, it's life. And that's what the best sermons are, is that they're testimonies of people's lives. And I am a testament to that. Nothing about me is perfect. Yes, I've got good pedigree and all that stuff, but there's other people that were around me that had the same thing, had the same opportunity, had the same whatever. And I just have always known that like things are available and possible.
Now, Brandon, I've got to say, you are one of the best dressed so far on Black Heroes here on HBCU Digital Network. So I've got to, before we wrap up here, I've got to ask, who's better dressed, you or Steve Harvey?
Oh, I mean, as everybody's been saying in this last like 2 weeks, like he's in serious zaddy mode. Like he's killing right now.
Killing it.
I'm a close second, but he is right now. He is acing the game. His dressing is killing. Like I've seen him come out, and I'm like, wow, I gotta step it up. But I'm like, I gotta step it up. So, but now he's number one right now. He got the looks. He's number one right now. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Because when he broke out the monochrome with the matching jacket, what was it? All green. Man. I was like, I'm not ready.
Like, that was a win. Like nobody was ready. I like saw the picture and text him like, yo, slow down, bro. Like, I mean, we all just trying to catch up, bro. Like we're trying to catch up on that jean suit you had on 2 weeks ago. Like,
okay,
come on with it. But now he's killing. He hired a young African-American guy from Cote d'Ivoire. and he's Parisian Cote d'Ivoire. Like, he is so good. You're under 30 years old, amazing eye. Just has brought a fire and a liveliness to Mr. Harvey's wardrobe, but it's been a spectacular ad. He came on with us about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And in the beginning, he was asking a lot, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you come into a 62, 63-year-old black man telling him he got to wear pink. Like, you know, it's like, fuchsia, right. What? Like, but, you know, he stuck to what it is that he believes in. He just kept bringing little things at a time. And then I think, you know, his wife starts to look, and, you know, when Marjorie's like, oh yeah, like,
she don't play.
Then it's okay. All right. Yeah. So then he kind of let it go a little further, go a little further. Now he's the look man. He got it, but he got in his space. So no, he's number one. We all playing second to him. We all playing second.
All right. I'll take it. Well, before we get out of here, please let folks know where they can find you on social media or your website.
Yeah. So my IG is bizlaw101 BRW. If anybody ever wants to see me there, you can always, my email is Brandon, BRANDON at Steve Harvey, STEVE HARVEY. So if there's anybody with ideas, thoughts, words of wisdom, how-tos, whatever it may be, always can send me an email. I don't give that out, not thinking that people are going to email, but you can email me. I don't give it out because it's a joke. I give it out because people can send things there to me in whatever capacity they have. There is no idea too small. There's no idea too crazy. As they say, Hollywood is the place of ideas, right? So whatever you think is possible. And if you want it, you can do it. And so whether it's something about your grandma, she got a show, or your uncle, like whatever, like there's nothing that's too small, too ridiculous, too awkward. It's there. So I those are the two places you can find me, on IG, and my email address. Those are two places that are easy to find me.
Well, that's what's up. Thank you so much, Brandon. It's been so fun rapping with you today.
Yeah,
and thanks for all the great gems and just inspiration.
Yeah, no, it's Shannon. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. The HBCU world means the world to me, and I mean, if people know me, they will tell you what Morehouse and the Spelmans and the Clark Atlantas and the Hamptons and the FAMUs, Jackson States. I've got friends from all over for all of those schools. And I think that there's such a place for them. So I appreciate you all doing what you're doing to give voices to folks that have come through some of those, like, you know, hallowed places, because I do know how important they are to me and to our culture. And I think they will always have a place despite what people say. And I think that they're necessary. So thank you for doing what you're doing and the way that you're doing. It's very appreciated.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Inspired? You should be. AT&T has continued their commitment to HBCUs with the launch of AT&T Dream in Black Rising Future Makers. Connect with the inaugural class of 25 HBCU students and watch them rise at att.com/dreaminblack.